Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Stage Dive Podcast. My name is Steve, and you know why Fred's on here. So let's hop into this album review. We are focusing on Protest the Hero. Protest the Hero are a mathcore progressive metal band with elements of metalcore and punk, who formed in 2001 in Whitby, Ontario, Canada. They have released 5 studio records. We will be focusing on their newest album, known as Palimpsest, which I most likely pronounced that wrong, and it was released on June 18, 2020 through Spine Farm Records. The personnel consists of Rody Walker on vocals, Luke Hoskin on guitar, Tim Miller on guitar and piano, Mike Larati on drums, Cam McClellan on bass, as well as Milan Petzelt Soras on orchestral arrangement, because it is very noticeable on this record. Album art consists of a bunch of animals that reference the American history. There seems to be a small western village in the red background. How I rank albums. Each song is rated out of 1. I mark quarterly, tally up points, get a percentage. Track 1, The Migrant Mother. A slightly punk intro, a very easy start to the song, not too much complexity, good melodic parts from the guitar, especially in the verse. Rody hits those unexpected highs in the chorus, very well sung. The verse after the chorus is a classic PTH where it's filled with intense transitions. I'm blown away with how Rody can hit those high notes though. It's so clear. What an improvement. Not that he was a terrible vocalist in the past. It's amazing. You hear the evolution in his vocal capabilities. Also, good bass work on this track. Lyrics. It's related to the Dust Bowl exodus during the Great Depression and how individuals migrated to California to find work. Track got 1 out of 1. Track number 2, Canary. Originally, I did not like this song, but it definitely grew on me. Very intricate instrumental start. Back to that punk verse, good ride use on the drums. The chorus is very uplifting through both the instruments and the vocals. This is the most catchy song on this record. It's very easy to sing along to. It has some good riffage from the guitars, decent transitions halfway through the song. Now, the bridge definitely has some good bass work. Lyrics. The song is based off Amelia Earhart. The title of this track is named after her plane. The lyrics are quite emotional. It does touch important topics, one of them being the challenges of an adventurous woman and the difficulties she has to deal with because of her gender, as well as how she is more recognized after her death rather than her accomplishments during her time on Earth. 1 out of 1. Track number 3, From the Sky. Good intro, okay guitar work with the orchestra. Now we're leading into the verse, quite complex writing up until the post-verse, which kind of weakens. It's a very standardized song, it doesn't lead to many complex transitions, and when there are moments of build-up, it's not memorable. But it is way too long of a track. Lyrics. It's about the Hindenburg that crashed and how we remember tragic events through pictures, but we barely remember the history behind it. 0.25 out of 1. Track 4. Harborside. It's an instrumental, very soothing. Seems like it's related to the Canary. 0.5 out of 1. Track 5, All Hands. The song reminds me of a mix of older songs known as Mist and Moonlight. It's punk oriented and progressive. Interesting use of the orchestra, it works well. Drums are very simplified. Good guitar and bass work. Vocals are perfect for this style of song. The halfway mark introduces us to amazing bass licks, as well as Rody's intense, harsh vocal capabilities. Lyrics. Is this part 2 of C'est la vie? It's about an individual committing suicide due to a life they wish they had. Very detailed description of the emotions and thoughts before the crash, as well as a small section of the aftermath. 0.75 out of 1. Track 6, The Fireside. Oh yeah, classic PTH. Loads of punk influences. It's very good. Amazing fast singing that Rody provides is very impressive. Good instrumentation throughout the whole track. Complex capabilities from a very talented band. We are at the bridge right now. And that bridge has some groove elements from the bass. Very good. The song does slow down towards the end, and where we would be expecting a build-up, but it stays standard, so there's no massive climax. That's okay. Lyrics. These lyrics are about the Fireside chats on the radio, which were addressed by Franklin D. Roosevelt, who was the US president. The song also references the Emergency Banking Relief Act, the recession, and World War II. It also touches on the fact that how this war provided military jobs for males and factory jobs for women, children, and individuals with physical disabilities. One particular line in this poetic structure that terrifies me goes like this. And all we need was a reason, and you gave us one. You gave us one. How fucked is that? War provided jobs for America. 1 out of 1, track 7. I will pronounce this wrong. So Lilo Queen. Another classic PTH intro. Good vocal abilities from Rhodey. Average instrumentation from the drummer. I apologize, dude. So far, the drumming has not really connected with me. And slightly the guitars as well. They were decent in this track, but I wasn't blown away. And fair transitions, but not memorable except for the vocals. Lyrics. I think the lyrics are based on the mistreatment of a war veteran. You know, pretty much sold his soul, left his wife at home, provided all this time for his country, and then when he returned, he's left with nothing. 0.5 out of 1. Track number 8. Reverie. Amazing intro. Awesome use of the orchestra and the guitars. Great bass. Drums are good. Has a good punk vibe. Loads of stuff is happening in this track, and that's one thing PTH does best. Good melodies in the guitar. The bridge has an awesome instrumental work. Then we have another transition that contains excellent bass work, very intense interludes, excellent outro. Lyrics. Seems like the lyrics are based off another soldier who came back home from the war and has no choice but to find a different way to survive. 1 out of 1. Track numero 9. Little Snakes. I like this. A nice melodic intro. The orchestra adds very epic emotions to the song. Good bass work, vocally it's very good, but it lacks build-up. Look, it has a very standard sound. What I mean by that is that there's not many explosions that captivate the track. The bridge has a decent bass lead. The outro has the intensity that was missing throughout the whole song. I just want to mention that there was also very good harsh vocals in this track, as well as a fun bass outro. Lyrics. They are based off the Native American genocide, the racism, as well as the theft of land. Also the creation of Mount Rushmore as a sign of victory for the Americans. How sad. It is sad, actually. Very. 0.75 out of 1. It lost points because the song sounded a bit too standard. Track 10, Mountainside. I believe this instrumental is related towards the song Little Snakes, as well as Mount Rushmore. Good piano. 0.5 out of 1. Track 11, Gardenias. Oof. Very heavy intro, good bass, and great guitar work. Drums is good too, I'll give it that. Good vocal use, very nice highs. I love how Rhodey transitions between his harsh and cleans while going low to high. That's extreme talent right there. And the singing is very terrifying. Good melodic work with the guitar, the bridge has a funk moment, which I enjoyed. Excellent interludes and transitions throughout the whole song. Lyrics. The suicide of Millicent Lillian Entwistle, who was a British actress. The lyrics focus on her thoughts before suicide when she jumped off the H on the Hollywood sign. The lyrics also reference the note she wrote that was found in a purse by a pedestrian. And this is what Hollywood does. Very sad lyrics and very poetically written. 1 out of 1. Track 12, Hillside. I believe this instrumental is related to gardenias, which is a flower that's apparently grown around the Hollywood sign and the hilltops there. Decent piano and orchestra, 0.25 out of 1. Track 13, which is the final track, Rivet. Sad lyrics with a happy sounding intro, very interesting in a good way. Now this has an upbeat instrumental construction. Amazing highs from the Roadster, nice transitions in the verse with melodic guitar work. Song has that standard feel again, but the track is well written. Lyrics, it's about people getting a job and losing it once the project is complete. It's also about the Great Depression. Also about how America was never great because no country is free from bullshit. 0.75 out of 1. Tallied up the points, got 71%. It's not that bad of a mark. Listen, the lyrics are well written. You feel the emotion when you read each and every word. It feels like Dream Theater but with more metalcore. Very progressive record. Loads of American history, and it's an interesting concept album, I should say. Maybe the next concept album should be based on the Canadian history, unless they've already done that. I find that the drums was missing groove. The guitars were there but kind of lacked in memorability, as well as the drums. Actually, the drums lacked the most memorability on this record. The bass and the vocals are what stuck out the most, especially Rhodey. It's hard to be in a band with this much talent. Protests are so creative and range in skill, but unfortunately, I personally was not able to fully connect with this record. I do still respect them. I will listen to this album, but I cannot say I was amazed by it. Let's get into some positive vibes though. I've seen Protest live over 16 times, that's for sure. And yes, that's how much I love this band. I got into them during the Kazaya tour and in the process of releasing their Fortress album. The live shows are always fun. The light show is great, the pits are extremely entertaining, and you also get a comedy show by Rhodey in between songs when they tune their instruments. It's awesome. I even saw Protest the Hero in Kingston, Ontario, since they were doing a really small local tour. I went to see them in Ottawa as well, Laval, and obviously Montreal. They also performed at Heavy MTL and Rockfest Montebello. I also got to witness Fortress in its entirety twice, as well as Kazaya once. Since we're on the topic of album chats, Volition is good work. I found that it also lacked some groove, but it's okay. Chris Adler did what he had to do. But I gotta say, the best quality out of Protest the Hero is Scurrilous. That is my favorite record. So since people like ranking stuff, I will rank the Protest the Hero albums, which starts with Scurrilous on top, followed by Kazaya, then Fortress, then Volition, and now the newest record. My friend George and I will definitely see Protest anytime they come to town, even if they are an opener. That's how much we enjoy this band. And now it seems like Fred is getting into them too. What's great is that I got to witness Protest the Hero career raise in popularity, and I hope to see PTH live soon. It's always an amazing experience. It's so much fun. I respect them. They're such a huge influence. And on that note, I'd like to remind you all to stay punk and stay metal. My name is Steve. This is the Stage Dive Podcast. How will I end this podcast is by telling you that I was watching TV earlier today and my glasses literally broke on my face.